This is the pod, guys.
We in? All right, guys. Welcome back. Welcome to the Ready, Set, Blow podcast. Back by popular demand, Jeff Dye.
What up, baby?
Talking hellish shit last time, so I was like, fuck it. And also,
Yeah.
I speak to you more than I speak to anybody else.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it today. I was like, fuck, man, I probably spend 2/3 of my waking hours in your
Yeah.
company.
100%. I mean, same. I love it. Yeah, everyone was like going, hey, you better be careful talking about the Clintons like that on that last episode.
Oh,
It's fine.
You're not big enough yet?
Yeah. If they haven't killed Tim Dillon, I'm fine. I'm doing 1/100th of what Tim Dillon does, and he's safe.
He's all right.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I got...
It's only when you owe them money. When you get involved business-wise when you got to worry about them. If you're just talking shit,
Oh, yeah.
they don't give a fuck.
Well, they don't care about a comic.
Yeah. They're too busy killing their fucking business attorneys and shit.
Yeah, I might be part of like one tiny email. Hey, there, you might want to notice a comic said a thing. And they go, what? Delete. She's good at deleting emails. You know? What was I going to say? Oh, I got booked for New Year's to do Mar-a-Lago.
Did you?
Yeah, 3 nights. I have to wear a tuxedo.
Did you get an opening act?
I asked, and he said no.
Oh.
And then, but it's like 3 nights, and then there's like a golf thing, and then there's a
love to do
lunch and
that.
stuff, and it's like, I guess, like a really private, it's expensive thing. It's usually like 30 grand a night.
Is it a fundraiser? Is that what you're doing?
No, it's like a private thing that these people pay a bunch of money to go to.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it
Why not?
because I've already got a contract in place.
Okay.
And
Was the money good?
No.
Well, you see,
He said
that's
the money.
how the rich stay rich. It's like, well, you get to go to Mar-a-Lago.
That's what it was.
They sell you, but you get to go.
He also said it's like
I could go to a resort on my own fucking time.
Well, here's how he leaned on it. He was like, listen, each night is like a $30,000 night. You're getting 3 nights of that for free, and then we're going to give you a little money to perform. Yeah. But here's how I saw it. As much as I'd love to, and if he ever hears this, you know, I was genuinely...
Yeah, if you're not booked, you'd do it.
Yeah. Genuinely wanting to do it, but I was already booked for way more than that. Yeah. And then
New Year's
also...
is a big night, so...
It's huge. I don't want to be with a bunch of strangers. I'm sure they're fine strangers, but I don't want to be with a bunch of strangers on New Year's Eve.
If you got the +1, maybe go down there.
Yeah. It's like I'm going to spend it with like a bunch of rich strangers. I'm pretty sure they're going to be in a relationship, and they'll be all coupled up for their tuxedo and gown event. You know, I'm not going to be like alone as like the comic. Also, what if the comedy goes bad? Now I'm just sitting there going, all right, well.
Hiding in your
now not even wants to talk to me.
$30,000 room.
Yeah, for New Year's Eve. That's not good. Instead, I'll be in Denver. I'll probably be with you. Be with Brant. You know, I'm at Comedy Works for
we'll get
for
the
New
Carlsons
Year's
out, those crazy fucks.
Fun. Yeah, figure out what everyone's doing for New Year's Eve, and I'd much rather do that. But only because it's New Year's Eve, not because I wouldn't love to do Mar-a-Lago.
I'm like, what is it, like 4 or 5 times the rate typically on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, generally.
New Year's Eve,
I'm at least double.
Yeah, New Year's Eve seems to be like New Year's Eve and Valentine's Day. I can see why Valentine's Day is like a thing you take your girl to, but even that, it's a little weird. Like, especially to go see another guy. It's like, oh, let's go watch this other good-looking guy perform.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I would be taking my girl to go see fucking Dave Attell.
Yeah,
the ugliest comic I could
Smart.
find.
Yeah, and be like, he was a cretin.
Yeah, he was really funny, but he's a cretin.
Did I ever tell you that I was This is such an old story. It was like 2008 with these. We were like on a double date, me and my girlfriend and a couple. And they kept saying, because, you know, when they find out you're a stand-up comedian, they want to talk about the very little they know about stand-up comedy. Yeah. And we saw one guy at a theater, and he was awful. And I was like, oh, who was it? And they go, I can't remember his name. He was like short and ugly, and he like wasn't funny. And I was really curious. I'm like, who did you see in a theater
that's short and ugly
that
wasn't funny?
And then like probably an hour later, they're like, oh, it was Dave Attell. And I go, no, you're wrong.
Dead wrong.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened that night. I know you're wrong. You're stupid. Dave Attell's the greatest. If you went to anything of his and thought that he wasn't funny at all, you're wrong.
Yeah, you could say he's ugly, but you can't say he's not
funny.
funny.
Yeah, call him short.
Yeah.
Call him ugly. Call him whatever you want. But like to say that he's one of the greatest comics ever. And then your snobby 24-year-old ass is like, nah, I didn't like it. It's like, you're an idiot.
Yeah. What do you think he has, like 200 hours of material? Just an insane amount of it.
Yeah. He's forgotten more jokes than
I've ever written.
Than most comics have ever written. Yeah, that's... But I just remember hearing that and being like, that is a sad state of affairs that you didn't like Dave Attell.
I'm trying to think if I ever took a girl to a comedy show and she was like, I don't like it. I mean, I guess I have, and I just never saw them again and forgot about them. But
yeah.
Like, that's actually used to be like a move of mine before I was a comedian. Second date, take them to a comedy show.
Oh, to see what their sense of humor is like?
Yeah, to see somebody I like. Are they going to laugh at this and not? I don't
That's
know.
interesting.
I don't
That's
know.
a good way to measure it.
Yeah. First date, always drinks, because 15 minutes of whack, right?
Yeah.
15 minutes of drink, she's a fucking bitch, or, you think it's not going to end up in, sex, then you get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm trying to think, like, you know how I am better than anybody that's listening, but it's like, and I can say this comfortably without feeling like a douche, but it's I just know myself very well. I would not be able to watch her enjoy someone else more than me.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But this is before I was a comedian.
I know. Yeah.
So now I've taken girls that I'm dating to go comedy shows, but they're like, they're big comedy shows. Like, oh, like, you know, David Tell's final show at Caroline's. All right, we'll go.
That's big.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Yeah. But I'm not like, you know, I wouldn't do it now. It would be weird. I would though, when I first started as an open mic, I would just tell them to meet me. Like at Laugh Boston, because I was there drinking for free. So
yeah, smart.
Like, oh yeah. What do you want to do tonight? Why don't you swing by?
You also look like you're the made man.
You know, that's the move, yeah.
Because they're like, what's up?
I know
like,
the door guy, I know the fucking owner, the whole thing. You know, I'm in the back. You're like, who the fuck is this guy? Like,
yeah, exactly. I really enjoy that. You know, it's like the one place I get to be daddy. Like I'll like take my ex to Zany's, and they're like, Jeff, and everyone's hugging me and buying me. I'm like, see, hey, I'm important too. I can't even do concerts. Like I watch them watch like, you know, Incubus or something, and I am all jealous of Incubus. Like that's how bad it is that I have to get the attention so badly that I'm.
I was gonna say you don't seem jealous of the woman. It's jealousy of the attention.
Of the attention, which is also women should be able to identify with that. Women love attention and get real snotty when you don't give it to them. And I'm just like them.
But they don't have any self-reflection on that.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. Yeah. They're just in a mood.
Yeah, that's what I was eating mushrooms. Like, wait a minute, maybe I am this way.
Yeah, I'm this way. I'm fine with it, but it is like I can just acknowledge it. But can you imagine bringing a girl to a comedy show now? Like,
yeah, she's up there just fucking getting wet watching Matt Rife. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
Oh, and especially like how snobby I am about other comedy.
Oh, yeah, if she laughs at somebody
so
you hate.
So-and-so's so funny, and I just like I can just feel my face get red. Like, my blood's boiling. You know who's hilarious? Eliza Schlesinger. Like, oh, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work out at all with us. In fact, I think the date's over now.
Yeah, something came up. I got to go.
Because she can have bad music taste. She could have anything. But, like, the one thing I'm snobby about is, like, comedy.
That's actually one thing I was reading a lot about lately. Apparently, the biggest thing, like in the dating world that's causing, like, consternation are people's political views. Like, some people won't date a conservative or a liberal. And it's like, what? I'd never even ask. Like, I wouldn't even think to ask. I was like, are you attractive? Do I enjoy your company? Yeah.
Yeah,
me. That's about it. It's about where it ends for me.
Me and Al Jackson talked about this on my podcast one time.
Love Al Jackson.
Yeah, he's awesome. He was basically saying, like, and he kind of opened my eyes to this. I was talking about it more as like a theory. I mean, he was like talking about it like very intelligently, but it's like maybe your soulmate smokes cigarettes. Yeah. And you're going, I would never date someone that you're canceling out a thing when maybe it's not. Maybe that'd be a fine trade if your soulmate happens to do a thing you don't like.
That's the thing. That's a big thing too. You're never going to get 100%.
Yeah.
Anything over 85% compatibility, you can make it work.
Yeah, you say, I would never date a Republican. Maybe I'm your dream man, and I just happen to have some Republican ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe the reason I'm not cheating on you, I'm loyal to you.
Yeah.
I want to
pay
protect you the way I want to pay. Maybe those Republican values will outweigh the Republican part of me you hate. Because, you know, you want to date some liberal guy who wants to split the bill and doesn't believe in protecting you, and he doesn't,
isn't chivalrous.
Yeah,
but also, like, who cares about a woman's political views, really?
You said it.
I mean, like, I'm supposed to take those seriously? It's coming out of a woman.
Most women between their ears think something different than what they act out.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times too, I feel like they don't know what they believe until you tell them.
Strong takes. You sound like my comedy act.
No, I mean it's like oh, what do you want to eat? I'm hungry. What do you want to eat? I don't know.
Yeah.
Fucking.
All right.
You just gotta fucking.
All right, sushi. We just had sushi. Well, you said I don't know.
That's why I don't. I just give them two options. You want this or this?
That's good.
Usually women can choose one out of two.
Yeah.
If there's four options, it's like it's a fucking hour-long debate.
The older I get, the more I want to like do rules. So like I'm trying to do these like Jeff-isms, right?
Okay.
So here's the thing. If you say you don't know, and I choose because you didn't know, then that means you don't get to complain.
Yes.
That's the only trade.
Yes.
So like you don't have to like it or whatever, but like then because you didn't say anything, that means you don't get to complain.
I agree with that 100%. I say it all the time. It's like, speak up.
Yeah.
You will not get what you want with me unless you tell me directly what you want. Otherwise, I'm going to railroad my ideas through.
Sure.
Like,
yeah, you got to stay.
A very strong personality. I have opinions of my own.
Yeah.
If you're not going to step up, then I'm going to fill the void.
I was telling a girl the other night, it's like, I pay for everything. Okay? I got you. I'm always going to pay for everything. I'll pay for parking, dinner, this night out, whatever, drinks. But then I'm also going to complain that I have to pay for everything always. That's the trade.
Yes.
I do a whole bit about it in my act, but I've earned that bit.
Yeah.
Because I pay for everything. So that's just a trade. If you're going to hear me gripe about the $50 parking at Universal Studios, it's because I paid for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to complain that it's too expensive.
I made that same deal with Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
He always owes me a little bit of money, and I'm like, well, now you get to hear me fucking give you the fucking riot act about it every chance I see it. That's the trade, Tyler. If you don't want to pay,
put up with it.
I get to make fun of you being a deadbeat in front of all of our friends.
Well, and I mean, it happens. Gosh, what was it? So there's another one that I was just thinking of. So it's like, they're complaining about paying, the not being able to commit to like where you want to eat. I'm gonna choose, but you don't get to bitch about it. There was another one I was trying to think of.
The Jeffisms. Rarely Jeff forgets.
Oh, stand-up comedy.
There you go. Figured it.
So in the stand-up comedy, it's like, if someone heckles, right? I don't mind. You could heckle, and you're not going to be kicked out. But I'm going to say whatever it takes to get control of the crowd back.
Yeah.
So after the show, you can't complain like he said all these mean things. No, that was the trade for your heckle.
Yeah. You spoke. If you didn't say anything, I wouldn't have said anything.
And if they go like, well, sorry, I heckled. Like, no, it's okay. I said a bunch of shit after that.
Yeah.
That was pretty harsh. So it's like, that's a good trade. It's like, you're not going to be kicked out, but like, I'm going to say whatever it takes to deal with this situation. You have to be fine with it because you spoke up.
It's weird that people don't get that. Like, some audience members, they do think they could just shout out whatever, and then you come back at them hard. Like, you can't say that.
Yeah.
It's like, you just interrupted a live performance. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's crazy.
You're like an ask them to remove you. Like,
I'm actually surprised I'm usually surprised with the other side of that coin where they're like, I feel terrible that I was like, no, don't feel bad now. You let me say all that shit afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy. Like, we're good. We're completely even.
Yeah.
Because it's like, sometimes when you're saying something, like, so you'll call someone a cunt, or you'll call someone you'll say some pretty aggressive
sorry, Mom.
shit.
No.
Yeah, you'll say some pretty aggressive stuff because you're just trying to deal with the situation. But as long as they're not mad about what I say back, then it's fair game.
Have you ever been attacked on stage?
Physically?
Yeah, like, I mean, shouting. Has anyone ever like waited around after the show to fuck you up?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's a Comedy Cellar one that's pretty big. There's been plenty of boyfriends who are like defending their girl or whatever. I'm just like, I just won't come outside, and if I do, it'll be with my guy friends who are
defending his girl
you're
from
not
a
gonna
comic.
be 6 of us,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, usually it was like early in my career too.
Also, I wouldn't defend the girl because ostensibly she was piping up and heckling you.
Yeah.
And then you came at her. I'd be embarrassed of if I was that guy, I'd be embarrassed of her.
It's
like,
always
bitch,
these
shut up.
Small towns.
Shut up.
It's always these small towns,
and their honors on the line.
They're hammered.
Yeah.
They don't even really realize. Like they'll just be like so hammered and like talking to their table, and then I'll be like, "Hey, can you guys shut the fuck up?" And then they'll be like, "You're not even funny," and that's how it always goes.
That's actually the worst. I'd rather be heckled than have just drunk, loud talking amongst themselves at the table. That's actually the worst.
When it's always like, and I hate to say this, but it's generally like really attractive small town girls who drank too much on a Friday or Saturday.
Well, but it makes sense, right? If hot girls, fuck all this other privilege that everyone supposedly says is out there, which I disagree with. Hot girls, if there is any privilege, it's them.
Highest.
And especially in a small town. If you're the king shit girl in that town, no one's ever said fucking boo to you. Every guy's tripping over themselves to try and impress you. So you just think, I could just do whatever I want whenever I want.
And I think they go hard on the weekends too. They're like an esthetician 5 days a week, and then on Friday, her and her dumb boyfriend start drinking shots at like 6. Yeah. So by the time the 10 o'clock comedy show comes around, they're fucking on a different planet. Yeah. And all they heard was me go, "Shut up, bitch!" And then like, that guy's like, "I'm gonna fight him," because that's what he does for fun every Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
He fights a guy at a bar, and he's especially excited to fight some douche from Hollywood.
Yeah, some guy out of town.
Yeah, that his girlfriend
half
probably
a homo who drives a Tesla. Like, I want to fuck that guy.
Who probably thinks his girlfriend thinks he's hot.
Yeah, exactly.
That annoys him more.
Yeah, so of course.
It's a whole thing. But you see it. I've seen it a billion times at these comedy clubs. But it doesn't really happen anymore. I'm trying to think if there's ever been a time. Oh, here's the big one. You've heard this probably. I was at the Comedy Cellar. There's a girl that just keeps yelling things. Every comic just yelling things. And then I'm like, why has no comic dealt with this? There were some baddies on stage, dude. Some people that are fearless at the Cellar. That night, like Keith Robbins was on stage.
Well, I was going to say, any night in that place, any one of those comics can shut down a heckler.
Amy Schumer didn't tell this chick to shut the fuck up. Like I was like, why is everyone not dealing with this? So I get into a bit. To her credit, the bit was a little lengthy for an opening joke. Okay. It took a little too long for me to get to the punchline, whatever. But I get to...
she wasn't thinking like that.
Before I could get to the punchline, she's like, not funny, next, or something like that. And I was like, bitch, you didn't even let me get to the punchline. You couldn't even. And also, by the way, you've been a nuisance the whole show. Every one of my comedy friends are coming upstairs going, there's a dumb, drunk bitch in the front. And everyone starts cheering because they're like, finally, a comic is telling this woman to be quiet. And I go, and she goes, fuck you. And I go, no, fuck you. You're the one ruining the show for all these people who pay. Everyone is excited to be at the Comedy Cellar in New York City. And you're trying to ruin it for everyone because you don't understand that.
Stealing attention. Yeah.
That the world isn't about you. And then everyone starts clapping again. So I'm like, yeah, Jeff's kind of, this is also before I was like edgy. This is like kitty cat joke, Jeff.
Birds on a plane.
Yeah,
Jeff.
exactly.
Love that joke though.
And so I was like, and then she's like, I was like, also, do you realize how hard it is for me right now to not call you a cunt? I'm trying so hard. My mind, I'm going, call her a cunt, and I could just keep saying this.
But that's a very fucking slick move, and also like Donald Trump does that kind of shit. Like I'm not gonna call you a cunt. You kind of just did.
Right. Yeah. And I did it over and over. I go in my mind. I'm going call her a cunt, but and
I'm doing my best not to call you a
it's
stupid
such
cunt.
a great like verbal strategy to make it seem like I'm being a good guy while calling her a cunt.
Gaslighting the whole room.
Yeah, it was amazing. So then she stands up and storms out. Everyone cheers. She's with 3 of the biggest Russian guys that have ever lived. And I'm guessing that's probably why no one...
Yeah, it's Vladimir Putin's daughter or something.
The biggest Russian guys ever. So I'm on stage. I have a good set. I was only up there for like 15 minutes. So I have a good set. I get off stage. And one of the door guys, because at the cellar, like... They're all cool black guys that work like the doors and security there. And he's like putting on batting gloves. I was like, that's not a good sign. And he goes, hey, stay with me. Don't go anywhere without me. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, you pissed those guys off pretty good. And they said to me, we're coming back for him. So don't move. Well, I've alerted everyone from all the other comedy clubs because the Big Fat Black Pussycat is right around the corner. They have all these things around. And so they brought all the security over to that because they're like, this is going to go. This is going to go down. But I was like so flattered. I'm like, they're going to fight for me? Like, they're going to
fucking gang war out front. Yeah, black Russian.
And he's putting on batting gloves. Goes, don't go anywhere. And I was going, oh, this is going to get bad. So I'm all scared. I'm upstairs. All the other comics is kind of exciting for them. Like, what happened? What did you say? I know. So I'm telling the story over and over upstairs. Literally, Russians are on the other side of the street.
Just waiting.
McDougal or whatever that street is. And then all the cellar security guys are on this side, and they're all just like a movie, like a standoff in the road, being like, cross over here, you cross over here. And so I'm hiding I was at the cellar till probably 3 o'clock in the morning, waiting for everyone just to leave. Ruined my whole night. Eventually the Russians got bored and left, and then all the security guys were like, we got you, man, we didn't have to fight, like, it's all good. And the next day I bought everybody like a giant thing of like 1940. I bought everybody. I was like, even the guys that don't drink alcohol, I was like, no, keep it, give it to someone else, sell it, whatever you want to do. Like, they were like, you don't have to do this, it's our job. I go, no, fighting for me,
get into a fucking turf war over Jeff.
Highest honor I've ever had in my life, because they didn't even hear the jokes. They didn't even know. I could have been wrong. And they still were like, we got to defend the comic, I was just like, it's such a cool place. I'll forever. And then the next day, Esty tried to be like, well, your joke wasn't very funny in the beginning. I was like, Esty, because she watched the video.
Yeah. She's judging the set, not the potential homicide waiting to happen.
And then Jim Norton luckily was sitting right next to me when Esty was trying to say that the joke sucked. He goes, doesn't matter, Esty. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He did the right thing. Fuck that chick, Jeff. Fuck that girl. And then Esty's like, okay. And I was like, thank God Jim was here. He's got seniority, and he's also like, he would like defended my honor.
I love how she jumped right on the joke, though.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, if I got a good zinger up front, then I could insult the crowd. Like,
yeah. It's like, also like, what if I bomb the whole time? You're on her side?
Yeah, exactly.
She can't fight the comics.
Yeah, I work for you guys.
Yeah, it's like I would expect you to have my back on that.
So you got the weekend off. What are you up to, brother? It's fucking rare. We're in LA on a fucking Saturday.
Did Hollywood Horror Nights.
I saw that. How was it this year?
Really fun.
Let's switch it up.
7 miles of walking. I counted the steps.
It's always a long walk, dude.
No fat people at Hollywood Horror Nights. There's 0 fat people.
You scare the fat off them?
I didn't think about it. And then after I realized how many steps we're doing, I go,
it's a lot of mazes.
I started looking around, going, there's no... And
they were fat when it began, Jeff.
What's that?
They were fat when it began.
I guess, yeah. I mean, maybe that's the secret. They should be advertising that. Let me tell you, because in between each maze, forget the lines and forget the actual maze you're walking through. Just to get to these mazes.
Yeah.
I mean, the upper lot, the lower lot, it's like a whole, like... It's very big.
Yeah.
Very spaced out. And so I was like, I started looking around, and I don't think I saw anyone overweight.
That's good.
Yeah.
Unlike Houston.
Yeah. I did see a lot of women that don't understand what kind of shoe wear to wear to this type of thing.
Oh.
If you're going to walk 7 miles, don't bring your big gothic black boots. Don't bring, like, heels.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I saw tons of girls in terrible shoe
that's the
choices.
thing about LA. It's everything's always a scene.
Yeah.
So like in case they are seen, they want to be seen well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what about your feet?
Yeah. I mean, seriously, if you're gonna walk, maybe bring some comfy shoes. I also saw this. I had a real conservative moment there too. I don't really care about the way people dress. Obviously, I'm not like a super conservative, but I did see a girl wearing lingerie, and then like yoga pants over the bottom part of the lingerie, and I was so embarrassed for the guy she was with. I was like, why is she wearing that?
That's the thing about that kind of gal. Yeah, she's that kind of gal all the time. So you gotta walk around with your girl looking like a fucking prostitute.
Whore. She looked like such a whore.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people. There was.
And
girls,
look, I'm okay with that, but if it was like my wife, I'd be like,
Yeah.
oof. Like honey, that's just for me.
No, if she showed
something's
up-
for me.
If
you
she
gotta
showed
save
up
something.
to my house and was like, all right, I'm ready for Hollywood Horror Nights, and she was wearing that, I'd be like, I don't think we can go.
Oh, yeah.
It was egregious. It wasn't just like, I don't know, like a lot of people wearing revealing things. They're wearing like a white beater with no bra or whatever. Like there was none of that I had a problem with. But for whatever reason, to see this chick wearing like a lingerie at Hollywood Horror Nights, and it was like the kind that like just kind of pushed up her boobs, so like you could see the whole boob except like it was like
Oh, okay. It was like the push-up bra thing.
it was like a
corset or something?
brassiere or something, like some sort of corset. I don't know what it was, but I was looking at it, and it's like, and then the only reason I'm talking about it now is because this might be one of the only times in my life where I was like, that's inappropriate. I was like, is that how old I'm getting? I saw a 23-year-old with lingerie at Hollywood Horror Nights, and I spiraled about it for like 40 minutes. Like,
I don't like those tits.
yeah, well, and also like she wasn't an unattractive woman or anything, but it's just like I was like, what are you doing?
There is. I mean, I guess I wonder where I would draw the line. Like if I was dating, I was like, you probably shouldn't go out like that.
Yeah,
Like I wonder where the line is for me, because obviously you want an attractive woman, but you don't want her to be. You don't want her to seem like she's turning a trick.
yeah.
Or
Like he ordered her.
Yeah.
Like he bought her on a website to go to the Hollywood Horror Nights as his date or something. I was like, what is she? I just couldn't believe what she was wearing. I still can't believe it.
But you can't slut shame these days, Jeff. It's not-
Well, I here's the thing. I love her. I'm not mad about her. But I don't feel bad about judging her for what she was wearing.
that's the thing. I don't know why they call judgment slut shaming. Like everyone judges everybody.
We all have an opinion.
Well, I know people say that. Like I don't judge. Like bullshit.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody judges. The question is how vocal you are about it.
Yeah.
Like some people just keep it to themselves. Other people put it out on the street. But everyone passes judgment on everyone you see. I mean, like think about it. You're walking in a dark parking lot in the middle of the night. You're gonna be fucking real watchful who's around you. Like you have to pass judgment on strange people. Like a woman should be afraid of a man in a dark alley.
Right.
Like that's appropriate judgment.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, she's dressed like a whore. It's like, well. But she might be a CEO. It's like, yeah, but I can't pass my initial judgment.
Sure.
You know?
Well, people go, oh, I mean, look, his shirt's too small. All right, that's a judgment.
Yeah.
But they're fine if a guy's dressed up like a woman walking around. They go, hey, leave that person alone. You make fun of my tiny shirt. A shirt I can't pull off. You're fine making fun of that. But you're no judgment for a woman with a beard and like a skirt and like sucking on a binky.
Yeah, I think I think that's what it is. It's you can't judge only certain people, right? The protected classes, or quote unquote protected.
What if I
classes.
wore a MAGA hat to Universal
That's
Studios?
the thing. You could be judged.
You don't think I'd be judged
You'd
for
be
that
stoned
hat?
to death.
I'd be judged for that hat.
Yeah.
They'd go, what is he doing? Why is he wearing that? Oh, I don't know. I thought we weren't judging people. Look, that guy's dressed like a lady. I didn't judge him. Her.
Whatever.
I didn't judge them.
Yeah.
But like, of course you judge. We all.
It's weird when you like park it at the door for certain, like I said, certain people. Like you could definitely always judge a white dude, straight white dude. Gay guys can judge everybody horribly, be fucking vicious,
They're allowed to do whatever.
right? They'll do whatever they want. And women can always call men stupid and ignorant. But if I called a woman stupid, it's like, oh, you're misogynist.
Yeah.
Like, what if she's actually stupid?
I actually take note with that too. They go, well, yeah, but the difference, Jeff, is you're punching down.
Punching down.
I think it's gross that you believe there's such thing as punching down, because punching down suggests I'm up here and I'm. What does that mean? I think we're all here.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
good point.
punching across, motherfucker.
But also, everyone's always down from somebody,
Yeah.
and you're always up. You're always better. There's never a time like where you're always in the right.
Yeah.
Where you're always like the upper hand and you're the elite. Everyone fucking takes shit off somebody.
Is there an opposite term for misogyny? Like women's?
Yeah. It's
I
some
don't know.
of the P. Look it up. Fuck.
Toxic femininity.
Just I'm trying to. I want to fucking trademark that term.
I'm telling you, man. And I've noticed that when men are toxically masculine, there's
What does that even mean?
when you're a bro or when you think like you say sexist things about women. But here's the thing. But when a woman is toxically masculine, she becomes a headlining comedian on Netflix.
She's a hero.
Yeah, when she acts,
she's a feminist.
Because you go, oh,
Yeah, a toxically masculine woman is called a feminist.
Yeah,
it's
like
really,
the-
it's really
like-
what it boils down to.
they're celebrated for being they're celebrated when they behave like a man
Yeah.
who you would hate for behaving like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I thought of it, Mike. You know what it's called? Misandry.
Yeah, it's on the screen.
There you go.
Screen not on.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
it's off.
Damn it.
Yeah, misandry.
You thought he cheated?
That's when a woman's the opposite of the version of misogynistic, and that happens. There is that. Like there is this whole. It's weird that like it can't be the other way around. No, it can. No, it can. Fucking fish can swim upstream. It's like it's possible. Like
Yeah.
this fucking idea that like
100%.
women can't be fucking anti-man.
Well, they just think it's okay. It's an interesting thing. It's like cultural appropriation, right? Like it's like there's no proof that Africans came up with braids first. How do you prove that?
Braiding hair, yeah.
Asians, like when in the monks that like they would
Yeah, they have
they
braids,
braid
Shaolin
their
monks
hair,
and
and
shit,
the Vikings famously braided their hair, like that is a far earlier cultures than African American.
Well, it used to be
or
called,
any of these things.
Yeah, it used to be called assimilation. Like, oh, we like pizza because the Italians brought it over from Italy.
Yeah,
Now we have pizza here, and they just assimilated.
yeah,
That was like a positive thing.
yeah. It's fine.
Like, when I was a kid, man, it was a big thing. Like, they would always describe New York as a melting pot, and now that's like a bad thing. It's like, oh, we want to preserve our culture.
Yeah.
It's like, no, don't you want to blend in and take all the best parts of the culture
Well,
and make up a better meal? Like
you,
a fucking,
know the anecdote of like if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it, right?
Yeah.
It's like that's what's happening. They so don't know their history that it's repeating. So for like by being like, hey, you should only do what your culture does. That's like,
Yeah.
don't capitalize off someone else's culture. Like, and if you do, you should give something back to that culture financially because you're like, that's what Hitler wanted.
Yeah.
You're doing what Hitler did and being like, Germans only. And this,
I call it resegregation. Like they're doing that now in colleges. Like, oh, this is a dorm for only the black students. I'm like, they tried that in the South. They
It's
didn't like
not a
that.
good
They
idea.
didn't like that.
It's very dumb.
But the liberals are the ones pushing that now. It's like, oh, let's resegregate. Like, I don't know that that's a good idea.
No one knows their history. And if they do know their history, it's really grossly incorrect and biased. Like it's like ask any young person to describe just 2 wars. Say pick any 2 wars and just describe them to me. What it was about, when it happened, what years. Try that.
Yeah.
Just any young person. They'll go, "Oh, I think one was about oil." They don't know. Which is okay to not know. I've spent most of my life being dumb. It's okay to not know. But you don't get to be dumb and political.
Yeah, and arrogant about it.
That's the craziest
and
part.
arrogant about it. Like, I don't know, but fucking you're wrong. It's like,
Political's fine and dumb is fine. Political and dumb? What a combo. Like, that is insane. And that's what young people do. They go, like the woman that cuts my hair, she just said yesterday, she's like, I said, Michelle, you keep acting like I'm some caveman or something. If I'd have asked you 6 years ago, can men have babies?
Yeah.
You're the one who's changed. I don't know what weird witchcraft school you went to that taught you that like you've always thought men could have babies. This is a new idea even for you.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I mean, I've always been really open-minded. I go, shut the fuck up.
You've been open-minded, but 5 years ago you didn't believe that.
You would have never, ever, ever said that. This is a new idea that you've adopted in the disguise of being sweet and generous.
Yeah.
I was like, you're the one that's changed. I haven't changed my position. I think that's insane.
Dude, I think a lot of it too is there are people that have gotten like that. They just like accept this new idea that's kind of bullshit. But I feel like a lot of people just say they do to avoid the argument.
Oh, it is.
It's like, oh yeah, men can be women and women can be men. Fine. They just don't want to have the argument.
Yep. White people have been doing it forever.
Yeah, this is like fine, whatever. But they don't say no. We got that's not right. Like,
Right.
Those people got to say push back a little bit.
White people have been doing it forever. We will say anything as long as it makes us not look racist.
Oh yeah.
Instead of just going, yeah, black people are obsessed with like
Whatever. Yeah.
criminal music. Music that is promoting things I would never want my nieces and nephew to think is okay. Like, just get that money, dog, and you
Yeah,
fucking
smack your bitch,
like,
right?
like that's not good.
Yeah.
don't agree with those ethics.
Selling cocaine is not good.
I used to be afraid to say something like that because it would come off as maybe racist. And it's like, I think that rap is garbage and unethical. But if I would have said that rap music is garbage and unethical 5 years ago, I'd have been super afraid of like someone accusing me of being racist instead of just being honest. Whereas now, I don't fucking care. I'll just say that. And my black friends know me well enough to go, Jeff's not racist, but that's his.
And look, I'll agree. I think hip hop is unethical, but I still like it. I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, 5 years ago, I'd have been.
Do I care?
5 years ago, I'd have been like, I love rap.
Yeah.
I would pander on stage, go, I love rap music.
Yeah.
Well, Cardi B is beautiful. No, she isn't. Not to me. I think she's gross. She's a gross person. She looks gross and she acts gross. I hate her.
She is.
She's trash.
Her behavior somehow makes her more famous. Where, like you said, if Cardi B were a dude,
Yep.
career over.
Maybe not,
Career
because she's
over.
in hip hop. So maybe they'd have also.
I don't know. Talking about drugging and stealing things from women, if she was a man,
Oh yeah.
that would be that would be the end of it.
But what I will say is, like,
That's Bill
how
Cosby.
many of my stupid white friends will be like, Cardi B's beautiful, and I really love her music. I think that they're just doing it in an effort to not look racist.
Yes, of
That's
course.
my point.
Of course.
I don't think they really like it that much. My friends go to Stagecoach, and they're all,
It's a little pandery too.
It's gross.
It's weird that I feel like the black people I know like the white people that don't pander to them.
Yeah, I'm honest,
You know what
and
I'm
they
saying?
love me.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like they don't just start just talking like me and fucking just be yourself and be okay with that.
Also, I really realized something about myself. I mean, we're gonna have to clip this up for sure.
You're in the right place for it.
Here's a statement that I
This is your question.
maybe shouldn't share publicly, but here we are.
Write the time down
I
in
just
case
said
he changes his mind.
I just said I don't care. So here we go. I've learned it has nothing to do with race for me. It's class. I used to think I had some sort of prejudices towards certain groups. Nope, I don't like the poor. That's what I've learned. I went to New Orleans and I was like, oh, this has nothing to do with race. It's all these gross poor people. They're behaving terribly. They're doing crimes. They're talking in a strange vernacular. Like, it isn't the middle class or the wealthy. It's the poor people breaking into shit. And it's like, I used to think between my ears it was like some sort of other cultural thing. It's the culture of being broke. Those are the people I don't like.
That's for me. That was always the biggest dividing between groups. Look, I'm a mixed race kid. I grew up in a black neighborhood, Puerto Rican neighborhood. I've said it to you before. I have more in common with the average black man in this country than LeBron James does, because LeBron James was a celebrity since he was 11.
Yep.
So it's definitely a class thing.
You didn't drive a brand new Hummer to high school.
Exactly. It's a class thing. Like, the class is what separates people, not necessarily race. I mean, poor black people in the South Side of Chicago have more in common with poor white people in Appalachia than do a wealthy kid in Harvard, a wealthy black kid at Harvard that does with the black people in South Side of Chicago.
When you're desperate, you do horrible things.
Yeah, and
you prostitute, you steal,
and of course, folks listening, you don't say not all poor people. Of course not. Yeah. Of course not. Obviously, the poor people are more afflicted by it because they have to be.
And also,
they have to get into crime to survive. We
and
know
also,
that.
poor is like subjective. I'm not talking about like you have trouble paying your rent every week. I'm talking about like poor. Like I literally would shop. I was a poor kid, living in a car, shoplifting. I was doing all these terrible things.
And you're not proud of it.
I'm not proud of it. Yeah, no, it's also I wasn't bragging about it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't definitely.
You were making hip hop songs about how you stole from Marshalls.
Yeah. And then to get super rich and then start still identifying with that is like
that's what's crazy.
It's all crazy to me.
It's like oh, that's still the right thing. It's like no, like you want to move up. You want like and not move up necessarily in class, but move up in like your ideology.
Yeah.
Like well, what I did back then was wrong.
Yeah, I should have done it.
I'm better now. I should be doing something.
Also,
like
what a risk! Because then I could, if I'd have got caught, not only would I have been still poor, now I would have had a criminal record.
Yeah.
I would have had like maybe a parole officer, and then I'd probably violate my parole.
Yeah, you can't get a fucking apartment.
Now it's just this snowball of like bad decisions that have turned into like, well, now I'm 40 and I feel like I still have to steal or cheat or whatever. It's just terrible.
There's a lot of that in the world. I mean, like, and there is. Look, I grew up really poor. Fucking, it's tough, and there's definitely like poor taxes out there. Like poor people play the lottery because they think they're gonna hit it, but they fucking $1 to them is worth more than $1 to you or I.
Yeah.
But you steal cable. Like you have to do things to survive. But I didn't languish in it. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? I always like I'm glad I was fed and I had a loving family. And we didn't have much money, but you try and move up or move out or see the rest of the world. You You're like, no, dog, I'm gonna stay in this I'm gonna stay in the south side of south side of Chicago and fucking continue to gangbang. It's like, well, maybe try not to.
Your culture shouldn't be bad behavior. You shouldn't find identity in these things. It's crazy to me. It's fascinating.
Dude, I was thinking this today, yesterday. When was the last time we ate mushrooms?
It's been a minute. I was just talking to Tyler on the phone on the way here.
Oh God, what do you have to say? That
we just trying to. He's all stressed out because like work is so much. But he
join the club, buddy.
He was asking about the festival we're doing.
Okay.
And he was like, "Do you guys want to get like an Airbnb?" I was like, "The whole point was to camp out with you guys."
Yeah.
We didn't get an Airbnb.
I thought this was like a tent that we're in.
That's the whole point, was to go to this festival and camp out and have a good time, do mushrooms with everybody, do some comedy. But he's like, "Oh, that's what I was thinking." And I go, "Then why'd you just ask?" And he goes, Carissa was asking and saying like,
"Oh no, she's coming."
I don't know. I guess she is.
I hope she doesn't listen to this.
Well, then I was like, "No, I'm not gonna get an Airbnb. Like, I'm gonna be there. We're gonna do that." And he goes, "All right, then that's what we'll do." I was like, "Yeah, but
if he's bringing her, they should get an Airbnb."
Do they have sex? They hook up?
I don't know, but every time she's like, we're friends and we're enemies. I don't.
Yeah.
She's
I've never
she
known.
believes in crystals and all this other bullshit.
I've never known that.
There's also 2 Carissas, so I might let me not fucking badmouth.
I think it's the one that we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know much about their relationship. It's confusing. Tyler's never honest about any of his things with us.
I know. It's still my favorite. I've never laughed harder than when you're breaking his balls about the time.
Oh, but my favorite one.
I don't know if you told that story in the podcast. It's tremendous.
It's just like I was like a roast comic for like 40 minutes on our friend Tyler. I was just saying, "You're a fucking idiot, dude." Like I got too much of just started going. I just started zooming in on Tyler. You're a fucking idiot. You're the only guy in my life who tells me you'll meet me at a bar. You don't show up for 4 hours and keep texting me on parking. You're a fucking moron. Grow up. I was like, you got an $8,500 watch on your wrist. You don't know what time is. Maybe Panerai will tell me what time it is. Maybe if I get a $10,000 watch, I'll know how to show up on time to a fucking bar. Just literally just an hour of me doing this to Tyler. And luckily, it was funny enough that Tyler, because he knows he's got.
Oh, he knows he's wrong.
He knows some flaws when it comes to that. Yeah.
Compulsive liar, bad about time.
Yeah, he's the best.
But the other time, seems like whenever Tyler's around when I'm on mushrooms, it's a good laugh.
Yeah,
fucking
for
good.
sure.
He's good for something. We're at the ranch at Split Rock Farm. You guys check it out. Obviously, go to jeffdad.com. We'll be in Fallbrook a couple weeks, October 22nd. But we were there like when he first got the place, when our buddy Ben first got the place. We're all eating mushrooms, having a good time sitting around the fire, and somehow the movie Total Recall comes up, and we were talking about it.
If you guys know about Total Recall, there's one scene. It's not even a scene. It's like an exterior or an interior shot, that pans, and they're trying to give you that same pan from like the Star Wars bar of like of whichever Star Wars movie that was, Empire or whatever. It doesn't matter, but they're trying to just basically set up the environment. They're just trying to show you like
the bar on Mars is a crazy place.
Here's the bar, and one person at the bar was a chick with 3 like perfect tits, like one in the middle.
2 on the side.
2 on the side. Also, by the way, ladies, how come no one's done that surgery yet? Just get one fake tit in the middle.
Enough BBLs get a fake tit in the middle.
What are we doing, dude? You'll be a star. So, anyways, we're talking about that chick, blah, 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 and then Tyler goes.
He goes, you guys think that's real? I go, what?
Yeah, and of course it's not real, Tyler.
He goes, oh, I've always wondered.
Yeah. And then we were just like, you're a moron.
You always wondered.
Also, listen, if this chick existed, if there was a real woman that had 3 perfect boobs, 1 in the middle and 2 on the side, then guess what? That was a Comic-Con thing that she did. She had
Oh, that was her. She looked good.
No, it's not her. It's an actress, I think, redoing her for like cosplay.
Yeah, they redid the movie.
Yeah.
Did they? Did they do the 3-titted chick?
I don't remember.
Possible.
Yeah. Well, what is funny is that like we just start busting his balls. Like, no, you think they would have just gave her 2 seconds of an interior shot? If they'd make her the female lead of the movie. Like,
3-titty Susie.
Also, this woman would be famous. We'd all know her name.
Yeah.
People that hate her would know her name. People that love her would know her name. She'd have the best OnlyFans that's ever existed.
Yeah, she'd be making $40 million a month.
She'd be a star.
Yeah.
3 boobs. I don't know how many nobody's thought of it.
Yeah, but
so, anyways.
And
then he goes, I've always wondered.
Always wondered.
Always
wondered.
You didn't Google it then?
Tyler's pushing 34. Always wondered.
Oh, such a great line. I just couldn't believe it. I've always wondered.
34 years of wondering.
Was that a photo of her with Jessica Biel on the like red carpet or something?
Yep.
That's hilarious. Even Jessica Biel was like, 3 tits? Let's get a picture. That's so funny. I wonder
Yeah,
if,
but you get the tit in the middle.
if she's just like a flat-chested woman and had that prosthetic like put on.
Oh, you think? Wait. Oh, you think she had like all 3 put on?
Yeah, I don't think that that's...
Yeah, because the spacing's weird.
Well, and also the spacing's weird, but then also what are the odds that it'd be the exact same size perfectly?
Yeah, it's impossible.
This looks kind of like some fake ab work going
Yep.
here.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it
yeah,
also doesn't match your
bodysuit.
skin tone. Like the
Yeah,
skin
a
tone's
little
different.
bodysuit action.
Also, it's so funny. They have like these things that you can like wear, like that are like fake boobs that are oh god, or a whole piece that goes over you. Have you seen those?
Oh yeah, it's like a vest.
Yeah, and Annie Letterman wore it for Halloween this last year, or the year before, like this Halloween now, but like
Yeah,
last October. And she just kept flashing them because
that's funny.
because
Yeah.
they're not her real boobs. And I was like following around the Comedy Store, like, man, this is pretty cool.
Oh, you.
And
She
Andy,
had you hooked.
oh yeah, and Andy Letterman's like, Jeff barely talks to me ever. And then the night that I wore this, he was like talking to me and like touching me and following me. I was like, yeah, you looked cool,
You
Andy.
look good in that vest.
Like I didn't know why I was so mesmerized by her. I was like, you looked cool that night. He's like, yeah, Jeff. We'd love to know what the deal is with this, but why hasn't no one done that?
Yeah, with the third tit,
10 of 10 would bang.
10
Yeah.
of 10 would go.
Yeah, for sure. She's also just a hot chick.
Yeah, I feel like
general.
a third tit would be a little much. How do you titty fuck her?
Yeah, both of us could. You got two lanes. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I mean, with all the body modifications people are doing now.
Yeah,
this one doesn't seem crazier than others.
It doesn't. And I heard something like 1 in 5 Brazilian butt lifts like end in some fucking horrible mishap.
Really?
It's fucking really high. I mean, think about it.
Well,
dude.
you are sitting on it all the time.
That's what I'm saying. You can't sit down for a month.
Yeah.
How does that? You can't. You got to sleep on your stomach and you can't sit down.
Yeah, there's zero chance.
It's fucking.
I bet there's zero chance anyone's following those rules.
Oh yeah.
They're just sitting. What do they got a brand new butt. They're not going to go out to lunch. They're not going to go to a fancy restaurant and show everyone their butt.
You ever see it though? It looks pretty. They haven't perfected it the way they have the tit yet.
I'm not an ass man, so I'm not like
I'm well aware.
the one to ask. But the ones I've seen, they didn't. I couldn't have told you they were fake.
Really? Because I've seen some. I mean, well, granted, it's always Miami or Dallas.
Yeah.
Particularly Miami. Miami is like home of the Brazilian butt lift. It's fucking. It's like 2 asses, dude. Like you can see where the real ass ends and the fake one begins, and the real ass starts again. It's not a good look.
Bring up some fake butts, Mike. It's already in your search.
Yeah, go back.
Also, we got to make sure it's fake female butts. There we go.
Yeah, see, look at that one in the black pants. That's not a good look.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those at the airport, and you're like, what is happening?
I know. So, is your more boob job than ass implants?
Wait, so that's Kim K's butt?
Yeah.
Does she have a fake butt?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
I
know
mean, she
anything.
says she doesn't, but
I don't know anything about
Hollywood's
these
lies.
Kardashians.
Also, who gives a fuck? I'll tell you what, though. It's weird when you ever see these girls. Some of these girls without makeup.
What do you mean? Celebrities or something?
Yeah, like I think the eyelashes is what freaks me out the most. The eyelashes have gotten out of control with women. They're like fucking bats' wings.
Confusing to do these kind of things. Do you think God's just looking down on us, just shaking his head, going, "Jesus Christ"? Of course. But like that's what I think. Whenever I see this kind of stuff, I just feel like God's going. God,
Of course.
all the money you have and all this.
This is what you do with. I gave you intelligence, and then you came up with the fake ass.
What do you? Every day you make my life a hell.
What's the worst surgery you've seen like on someone in LA? You're like, oh my god.
It's their faces.
The face is bad, right?
I know it's not everybody has an ideal face, but like it's just that's what you look at the most is someone's face.
Yeah, they've tracked that
So
study.
like it's just so much obvious work done.
That's where I think the key word there is the obvious.
Puffy and shiny, and I told the
The
girl
wet.
yesterday.
Have you seen when they look wet?
Yeah, Whitney Cummings' face is the shiniest face in the history
How
of
do they do
faces.
that? What do they just peel off the
I don't know
first
what
layer
it
of
is.
skin?
And she's always
Like
like,
a
my
burn
face is just
victim.
naturally shiny. And I go, all right, maybe it is, but it's like I
Do
don't
you swim here? Like,
Yeah, it's crazy, and she's beautiful, but
Gorgeous,
like
yeah.
it's such a everything in Hollywood looks so. I told the girl last night I've never had Botox. She couldn't believe me. She's like, yeah,
Why would
right.
you?
I go, I don't even know how it works. I know it's like tiny little needles, right? They prick it or whatever, but like where?
You know what it is?
I've never done that.
You know what it is? It's botulism. You know the same bacteria that makes those poor black kids with the flies in their face have the big extended belly?
Yeah.
That's what they're putting in your face.
That's crazy.
Botulism. It creates that bloating. So like you put it in a wrinkle, it puffs it up.
Man, I drink too much. I don't need any more puff in me. My face is, I get puffy enough. I'm supposed to have coffee tomorrow with someone. I thought being like, how's 4 o'clock sounding? Like, show up all fucking puffy.
That's the one thing that I feel like as a man, you get older and you drink the way we do, you start getting that refrigerator head.
Oh, yeah.
That Alec Baldwin puffy head.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I had a lunch with somebody this week for a business thing. It's Chachi Sr. He's a great guy. He's a cool guy. We were talking about somebody, and he was like, yeah, and he's such an alcoholic that he always looks like all puffy, you know. And I was like, hey, Chach, take it easy. And I, like, picked up our beers at lunch. Like, we're like, it's like a weekday, and we're just getting drunk at lunch, and we're calling people alcoholics.
Getting annihilated.
Yeah, I go, all right, take it easy, pal.
Stop passing judgment around here.
I got a hat and glasses on at this lunch.
At 4 o'clock.
Someone else is a little puffy. It's me.
Oh, dude, you want to get a little news? Where are we at in time? We're good?
45.
We're good? Yeah, let's get into the fucking news. Because you mentioned this, and I have a fucking beef with it. We were talking about getting puffy from drinking. It's Sober October, and here's what happens when you give your body a break from alcohol for a month. First thing it says, healthier skin, weight loss, better sleep, and a lower risk of future health scares. Now, the reason I bring this up is because every fucking October it chaps my ass. Everyone, you see it all on Instagram. And it's like, oh, Sober October, healthy month. Why am I supposed to celebrate this for you? Are you better than me because you're taking a month off? I don't drink every day.
Yeah.
I take 2 days off a week. You add that, fucking 6 months, I did my 30 days. Who gives a fuck about 30 straight?
I don't know if they expect you to celebrate it, do they?
No, they want their fucking credit. Oh, Sober October. Well, why else would they post about it?
Yeah, that's true.
It's a big virtual signal. It's like, oh, you're better than me because you're taking the month off.
It also ruins my time.
Yes.
You know, they're going, hey, I would love to go to the bar. I'll go with you, but I'm sober October. You're like,
fuck that,
so now
Jack.
I just have to drink by you? Well, don't even go to the bar. Actually, don't leave your house for Sober October. How about that? Stay inside. Shut up. You should call it Boring October. That's what you should call it.
Dude, I did it once on a bet. No, not October. I took off Halloween to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It was back in Boston. Me and this girl I was seeing, our friends were like, you guys drink too fucking much. There's no way you two can go 30 days without drinking.
Yeah.
Like, what? Not a problem. So we just did drugs.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you do it. That's a good way.
We just did
good strategy.
Smoked weed every day. It was awesome.
I think you don't know the definition of sober. It's not no alcohol October.
Well, they said we drink too much. So I won't drink for 30 days.
So funny.
And I didn't.
Well, it is a fascinating thing, like the Sober October. It's like, we should test that. You know, my buddy Nick Hurley did sober. What was last month?
Well, they do dry January and Sober October. Those are the two most popular ones.
He did it the last month, and I bet you if his dream woman would have texted him, "Hey, let's get drinks tonight," he wouldn't be like, "Let's push this to next month. I'm doing so." No,
of course.
Yeah, if I find the grossest woman in the world who's doing like Sober October, and I just be like, "Please, babe, have a drink with me," she's gonna do it,
dude. If you ask me to have a drink, I'm doing Sober October. Oh, come on.
Come on. One whiskey.
All right.
What's 12 whiskeys? Yeah, it's a fascinating, I don't know, the Sober October thing. I've never,
What's the longest you ever taken off from drinking? This is going to be short.
No, I did over a month. When I went through my last breakup with Kristen.
Was it over a month?
I didn't drink for about 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't seem like it.
Well, it was 2 months, and I went down to San Diego with Josh. I was like moping around, and I was all like,
yeah, we were hanging out. I don't, but it didn't seem like you were not.
Yeah, I didn't.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, and
didn't stop my drinking. I'm sure I got.
But it was more
me
trying to prove to her I wasn't like an alcoholic. She said it, like
which is ridiculous.
She said it like in a rage, like.
Oh, she's trying to get under your skin.
I think she maybe even believed it. She was like, "Yeah, you're an alcoholic," and blah blah blah. She said it so passively, and then on my mind I was like, "I drink with you." We drank every night. What are you talking about? I can't believe you would say that to me.
She foisted on you.
Also, because that's kind of what you do when you're like when it's because it was lockdown, so it was whatever.
I mean, everybody was.
And when you go to places like you're gonna go to a dinner and then you go to a bar and it's like you might not think you're drinking a lot because you're drinking wine or you're having like a fine cocktail.
See, that's the
but it's still
that's
drinking.
the bullshit. People hide behind that, like, oh, I don't drink. I just have a couple glasses of wine. That's fucking drinking.
alcohol.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, oh, because you're drinking a scotch, it doesn't mean you're getting hammered.
Yeah,
I'm taking
we
shots of
weren't
Jameson.
drinking at lunch, or we weren't drinking at like it didn't affect our lives.
Yeah, you weren't
anywhere.
driving somewhere.
Yeah,
Hammered.
occasionally affect my dick. It affected our sex life. I'll tell you that sometimes. But other than that, I'm just saying, like,
I'll do you in the morning, babe.
I drank way more during lockdown just because we can't
all of us
work,
did.
and also like you're just looking for something to do.
All of us did.
But like I that's probably the only thing I've ever been called where I was like, that's not even fair. Like you can accuse me of things, but like I'm not an alcoholic.
Yeah. Do you let shit get under your skin like that? Like.
I think I let shit get under my skin if it's someone I love. Like,
Okay.
right, like if you said an insult to me, like I would think about it way more than just someone
Really?
else.
Have
Yeah.
I ever said anything to you that was like,
No,
what the
I
fuck?
can think of, but
Okay.
it would like,
Okay,
like
I don't want to insult
you're
you.
gonna value the people that
course, yeah.
that say it. Like if anyone else has said alcoholic, I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude. Like I'm just like she said it in anger towards me, and I was like, you really think that about me? Yeah, it's fucking. I have a one thing I wanted to talk about.
What's that? Go for it.
So I think I found a solution to the
Not the final solution.
No, not the final, yeah. I think I found a solution to these trans people playing in sports.
Okay.
So here's the thing. If there's over 100 different genders, right? Like we can't have 100 different sports leagues for each we wouldn't even be able to.
Yeah, couldn't feel the team.
Yeah, it's too much. And so like if we all agree there's too many genders, then we got a problem here for sports. So why don't we just say that we're separating the sports by sex?
Yeah. This is
So we just say the NBA it's not about men and women. It's about a biological male facing other biological males.
Yeah.
If Shaq wants to wear a dress, he can.
Yeah.
Because who knows what his gender is? Gender is a spectrum.
Yeah.
We're talking about sex.
Yeah.
So they say, well, why can't she play in the... It's like, well, what's her biological... Is she biologically a female? They go, no. Then she has to play with the biological males because...
Yeah. But do the gender benders, like, whatever, like the gender fluid people, do they consider sex? Like...
They admit that there's...
They do admit
there's
that.
like biological sex.
Okay,
but
'cause
gender's what's the spectrum.
Okay, because I feel like they might have, like, crossed, the Rubicon to sex doesn't matter either.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if they're there. Listen.
I would just argue from now on, I only deal with sex. I don't deal with gender.
Yeah.
So when I'm addressing someone, I can guess with pretty good success what their biological sex is. So I'll say, hey, sir, and they'll go, I'm a ma'am. Oh, no, I'm not talking about your gender.
Yeah.
I would never try to guess your gender. It's too hard to guess.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming your biological sex.
I think that makes
I
perfect
only
sense.
deal with sex.
I think that makes perfect sense. And honestly, they have to agree that there is two sexes because in order to transition, you have to be something to start.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no such thing as transitioning from nowhere. Like
Yeah.
you have to be one or the other.
I would
transition.
also argue that if there was a woman who was just as good as LeBron James, that you don't let her play in the NBA.
I would want her to dominate.
She
WNBA.
should have to play the WNBA.
Yeah, it'd be
because
awesome.
there's plenty of men that are good enough in the NBA to
Michael
play
Jordan
in
would
the
have scored
WNBA.
2,000 a game.
Yeah,
Like,
and they don't let them come over.
Yeah.
So why would we let a woman who's so good play in the NBA?
and it makes sense from a business
separate.
perspective because it dilutes the quality of the game. Like if she is the best female player, but she could play in the NBA.
Yeah.
That would make her not the best player in the NBA. Keep her in the WNBA so people can fucking
Also,
buy tickets.
WNBA is not supposed to be the minor leagues for NBA. Like,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be like she's so, I say even if she was better than LeBron, you leave her in the WNBA because it wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
You got to
Now-
play with your biological sex.
Now, here's an interesting question because I said this on a podcast a couple months ago, but at some point, with all this gene therapy that we have going on and this advancement in biotechnology, I think it may, I'm not a fucking genius or a mind reader here, but it may in the future be possible to genetically change someone's actual sex, like change your chromosomes from XXXY.
Like when they're a fetus.
No, as an adult, like if they could say, like,
Really?
if they could put you in a machine, like somehow change your actual biological sex.
What is it going to 3D print a uterus for him? How's it going to work? You have gametes, you have chromosomes, you have bone density.
I don't know, Jeff. Listen, it's sci-fi. I'm guessing
I'm not
here.
Neil deGrasse Tyson who's going to sit there and be like, "Why do you care? He's wearing makeup. That means it's a girl." He's gotten stupider somehow, or
Oh,
he's
he's
been
gotten
bought
crazy
out
about
by
that?
something. He's a psycho. My point is, and he's a scientist, so it's weird.
I don't like when that happens. When doctors don't say that there's two sexes.
Is he not gonna like? You're telling me a neurophysicist can't understand gametes, chromosomes, bone density? Like,
Well, that's where I come down on the whole thing. It's like if you transition into a woman from a man and want to play male sports, you've been on performance enhancing drugs for 30 years. It's unfair. It's just unfair. Like I don't care what your sexual persuasion is. We don't let dude, fucking Barry Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame because he took steroids. Why do we let a man who's been on exogenous testosterone become a woman and then dominate women?
Yeah.
And then call her a fucking, the best in the sport. So it doesn't seem fair.
Because we're trying to be nice.
Well, be nice to Barry Bonds.
Yeah, the only time a liberal wants to talk to you about science is when it's a vax that they think everyone should have to take. You go, well, where's your little science speech when we're talking about your daughter telling everyone she's a guy? Where's your science speech on that?
Well, my favorite.
Get your 75 boosters, and you want to talk about science all day.
Yeah, it's like, follow the science. It's like, well, it seems like everyone has their own science these days.
Yeah,
no, there is no the science.
That's even up for debate.
There is no the science.
Yeah.
And that's
man.
the other thing too. Like people are like, oh, do your own research. No.
Yeah.
The fuck do I look like?
Here's my research.
I'm not a fucking doctor.
Yeah, here's my research. I don't trust Big Pharma. It's my research. Hey, Jeff, can you put this Pfizer in your arm? No. Can I not, please? I'm not some psycho. I just don't want to do that.
But I'm saying, who's doing their own research? Nobody.
I don't know how I would do my research.
It was the last time you've been to the library, Jeff.
Never. Also, it was like when I first time I ever voted, which was pretty recently. I went and voted, and this is actually probably 8 years ago. And I couldn't believe how many things were in the book that I knew nothing about.
Oh my God.
I jumped all the way to the end, and it was just the 4 presidential candidates, and I just went, and then that was it. I knew nothing about all these other names. They're like, you don't want to vote on your local legislative court judge represent. It was like I didn't know. It was just a book of names. And I was like, how would you do homework on any of these people?
Yeah.
And so
to know what their positions are.
Yeah, then afterwards
40 different people.
I looked up some of those names. There's nothing on the internet about these people except their website.
Yeah.
And do you think their website
self-proclaimed?
Yeah, their website's not going to be like, I once was accused of, it's just going to be this like family photo.
Puff piece, yeah.
Yeah, family photo of them and look how good we are and pick me for your, Burbank, whatever. But it was like all these names. I couldn't believe it. I would argue you could know everything about each presidential candidate, like spend 4 hours a day learning about each presidential candidate, and you would still be an uninformed voter about all the other things.
For sure. Dude, I took shit because I voted, it had to be during the pandemic because it was my first year here during an election, during 2020. And I took the time to look up like the local resolutions. There's a bunch of shit in there about weed, which of course I care about, like things that matter to me. And I did maybe 45 minutes, and you got to be careful with those, right? It's like vote yes to vote no, that kind of shit on those local things. It was like 4 of them, but like 2 of them about weed, so I got my shit there. And then on the when you vote for like the politicians, and you can write in for every one of them. So I was in the booth and I fucking whipped out my camera for Instagram, and I'm like, I just put my name in for every position, from president on down to local city council. I fucking entered my name. And I took so much shit, like, you're not taking it seriously.
Oh, God.
It's a wasted vote, blah, blah. I'm like, no, it's my fucking vote.
I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And I can choose not to take it seriously. Go fuck yourself.
Right.
And honestly, I think I do a better job than our local city council and whatever the fuck he's doing.
I don't
know who's
tired.
our city council selectman, but I'm sure I can do his job.
I'm so tired of everyone thinking that I support Donald Trump just because I think he's cool and I voted for him twice. Listen, guys. It's quite an accusation of me.
All right. Yeah, don't judge a book by its cover.
Keep me out of this. Keep my name out your mouth.
Dude, speaking of politics, I don't know if you heard about this. Joe Biden's family dog bites yet another Secret Service agent, making it his 11th attack. The Biden family dog Commander, a 2-year-old German Shepherd, has bitten another Secret Service agent.
German Shepherd.
It's his 11th attack, and it was his previous attacks were blamed on being stressful living in the White House. 11 attacks by this a 2-year-old German Shepherd. He's bitten fucking 6 people a year every year he's been alive.
I was picturing like a small dog when it said bit again. I go, well, what's the, it's a Yorkie or something.
Yeah. But the Secret Service, why don't they shoot this fucking thing?
Shepherd.
Yeah.
That's not a fun bite.
No.
It's not a good bite.
11 attacks.
Yeah. Those dogs are historically pretty aggressive. That's wild. Wait, so you don't have to put your dog down if he...
I guess if you're the president, your dog can bite as many people as it wants.
That's crazy.
Right? Just like his son can commit as many crimes as he'd like.
Well, that's different, yeah. I didn't know that his dog's name's Commander, too. Commander. That's pretty cool. What a weird thing.
I feel like... Does every president have to have a dog now? Is that a thing?
It seems like it. Every president does have... Did Trump have a dog? I know George Washington or
Did
George
Trump have a dog?
George.
Good question, Mikey. Did Donald Trump? See, Donald Trump. Bucks
George
in a-
Bush loved his dog. He was
Oh
always
yes,
running
was it?
around.
Yeah,
with it.
Buddy. He was a little
I
dog
don't
named
know.
Buddy. He was choking on a pretzel, and Buddy saved his life.
I love that dog. Or I remember like he would always be like, I don't remember. I don't think it was called Buddy.
I think that was called Buddy.
Really?
No.
Donald Trump did not have a pet. He only had Barron.
That is great, Donald Trump. Of course, he didn't have any.
And what was
pets.
George H.W. Bush's dog's name? I think it was Buddy, dude.
No, George W. Bush.
Oh,
is who I was
W.
told.
Bush.
W had a dog.
H.W. had a dog named Buddy. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
okay.
that.
George W. Bush had a dog. He would always talk about his dog.
Barney. And Miss Beasley. Barney and Miss Beasley.
Yeah, he's like, I have little Barney down on my feet. He would talk about. I could be in bed right now.
Hey, Barney.
Little Barney sitting on the foot of my bed.
Dude, you know what he does now? Watercolors.
I love that.
Painter.
Let's check out some of his water. Wouldn't
Oh,
it be
we did a couple weeks
if
ago.
it's
Check
like
it out, dude.
Stick figures.
Dude, no.
Wouldn't it be great? Here's me
It's
at
like a
the
third grader.
Here's me at the White House. It's just like a stick figure next to a house, like the way a little kid would draw.
And a sun in the corner. Yeah, dude. He did Putin. Look, he did Putin.
Why would he draw?
Dude, he has one of Dirk Nowitzki. It's pretty good. Jay Leno. He did Jay Leno.
Why is he doing this? He does portraits.
He's fucking in his 70s.
No, but portraits.
Dirk.
No.
Dirk looks like he has Down syndrome.
I like that he. Oh, of course he likes Dirk because he's Texas. I was like, why would he draw that? But he drew him and his dad. That's pretty cool.
Look, he drew Manute Bol. Who the fuck's that black guy?
I think that's supposed to be. That's supposed to be Kamala Harris. I don't know who it is. I don't know.
Look at Putin. Putin looks like a Salvador Dali painting. His head's all
Yeah, the
misshapen.
Putin one is weird. That's pretty good. It's not bad, but Jay's the easier one to draw. He's got a lot of like,
Yeah, a lot of easy features. The
yeah,
big chin.
like, got a lot of
But see,
attributes.
that's what I love about George Bush Jr. He fucking he retired. He left the office and went away. Like,
Yeah.
he
Oh,
didn't go
yeah.
on the speaking tour.
Yeah.
He wasn't taking money from Goldman Sachs.
He's like, I got more time.
yeah,
I got more
time.
time to go to baseball,
Yeah, clear some brush. Do some watercolors.
shoot some guns.
Yeah.
He seems like the best, dude. I want to hang out with him so bad.
Easily the president of my lifetime I'd have a beer with. Now, if I want to chase some pussy, Bill Clinton's the guy. That guy's a real coos hound.
I don't know if I'd hang out with Bill. I mean, I wouldn't not hang out with Bill, but he wouldn't be my first pick.
No, he wouldn't be my first pick.
Yeah, I'm into women of age. Bill's gonna be like, check out this 15-year-old. Show me photos in his phone. I like them when they're. I'm not a butt guy. I like them when they're in a cage. I used to go to this island all the time. I'd love to tell you about it, but
Oh, dude. By the way, I heard this. I read this recently. It's not even in the news. So J.P. Morgan, the big fucking bank, they, I guess they had somehow financed the loan that he got a mortgage on. He didn't pay all cash for his Epstein Island, but because of that, they were sued and they got to pay a $750 million settlement
because they financed an island,
because they were providing shelter to a pedophile.
they didn't know that.
Yeah, of course.
You'd have to prove they'd know that for that to be.
Well, J.P. Morgan doesn't want that kind of fucking new. They don't want to go to court, open court,
Okay.
about that kind of thing.
Interesting.
And they got a lot of money, so what the fuck is that to them?
Speaking of crazy numbers, I'm at Hollywood Horror Nights this week. I keep talking about it, I know, but it's fresh on my mind. I was at Hollywood Horror Nights, and I was like, how much do you think they make off this? Thousands of people are here just right now, and I paid $500 a ticket, roughly.
With the
Paid
fast pass?
$50 for parking. A beer is like $12, $15. A shot of Jameson is, I'm spending, you're spending money. You buy a stupid little lanyard to put your thing in. You're spending money. It's like easily a $1,500 night, easily. So I'm like, how much do you think they made? So I Google it. What would you guess that they make off Hollywood Horror Nights per year?
I mean, it runs a month,
Runs for like half of September and then all of October.
so 45 days, $1 million a day, $45 million.
All right, Mike, you want to take a stab?
That's their gross, not their net. That's expensive to put on.
Okay.
I'll just go double. We'll go 90.
Okay, they make $575 million just off Hollywood Horror Nights.
Wow.
They invest to build it, to build all the sets and to set up all the things,
All the people, yeah.
operations, the employees, concessions, all the things. They spend $100 million,
Oh, so they still make 400 some odd million.
and they make $475 million profit.
Jesus Christ, dude. That's worth it for them, obviously.
Per year, they make $7.5 billion.
Insane, dude.
And $575 million of it is just Hollywood Horror Nights. Now, what's interesting about that is the park is usually closed at sundown.
Well, that's all profit. Yeah, they add. Yeah,
they just would have been closed anyway. I say they should do it all year round.
Yeah, no shit, dude.
Just do it like Halloween is nighttime and daytime is the theme park.
I guess what are the themes they can? I mean, there's probably other themes they can do for other parts of the year, you know?
What, Christmas or
Yeah,
maybe
do
like
something fucking special, you know, something.
Make it a spring break fucking month or something. You know, they do some gay month.
Spring break, that'd be wild.
Pride is a month now. Turn the park gay for a fucking month.
Dude, they'd make a killing in this town.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ.
What's the other thing I was thinking about? Oh, they should make Pride. You know, Pride Month went from Pride Week to a Pride Month, right? So now, Sober October should be Sober Week of October. Let's rein Sober October in, and let's expand Gay Month. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like they've gotten crazy with the fucking, this is this day and Hispanic Heritage Month, and everything's a fucking,
Yeah.
it's like, you've made it in this country when you get an actual holiday.
Oh,
Like,
for
it's
sure.
like a day off.
Yeah.
That's what counts.
I was somewhere recently. They said we're not.
How the fuck is the Super Bowl? The Monday after Super Bowl should be a goddamn national holiday.
Yeah.
We're getting fucking Martin Luther King Day, which is great. You know, President's Day, great. Fucking move one of those days to the fucking second Monday in February.
I like that.
Right after fucking Super Bowl. President's Day should be that.
Martin Luther King had to share his day on his birthday. They gave him a national day, but then it's also his birthday. He's like, I already was going to celebrate this day. I couldn't get a separate day for all my achievements.
Well, it used to be 2 days. You used to have Washington's birthday off and Lincoln's birthday off. And then they just made it President's Day in one.
Oh, that's what happened?
But they should add one back and just give it to the Monday after the Super Bowl. That's
Yeah,
what I
for
think.
sure. I mean, we celebrate anyways. I was somewhere recently and they said, oh, we're not doing Monday because it's Indigenous People Day. And I was like,
Wouldn't they just have some problem with that?
can't we just work? Wait, why can't the restaurants be open? Because of it. Why did we have to close everything? That's what I don't understand.
It's a bullshit way for the banks to get a day off and not pay interest.
Yes, so-
That's what it's about.
Why we can't have food on Indigenous Day?
I'm pretty sure they wanted to eat.
I gotta eat.
Yeah, exactly. All right, one last thing, and I think I brought this up to you before, but I wanted to see if you can even guess. How many options for drinks? How many combinations of options
Oh,
for drinks
yeah.
do you think you can make at a Starbucks?
So, you've already told me the answer to this, so I'll just tell the story of when you told me this.
It's
It was at the
insane.
Woodman. I said,
Hang on, before you answer, Mike, how many do you think? How many options of drinks can you have?
100,000.
Jesus. I guessed like 80. I was like, it's probably like 80. I don't know. It's like 80 different things because you can have this one without sugar, this one with sugar. That's 2. You could have this one with the blah. But like once you start doing the math on it, it's fucking gross.
383 billion possible combinations of drinks at a Starbucks.
It seems unfathomable.
Well, you think about the size,
Okay.
the amount of syrup options, the amount of coffee options, the amount of milk options, right? Fucking from oat, skim, different foam types. I mean, like it gets.
But to do that, like,
It gets crazy.
I would guess that
There's a
even
graph, and the
even a
graph's insane.
million, I'd be like fucking impossible. 3 billion.
300 billion.
People forget, especially us in our generation now. We forget how much a million is when you really
Oh,
start.
well, you and I talked about this at the Improv one night because a billion laughs had. I was like,
Yeah,
that's impossible.
impossible, never.
It was impossible, and I broke it down for Jeff. I was like, all right, Jeff, 1 million seconds is like 8 years, or like 8 months.
Yeah.
1 billion seconds is 34 years. He goes, what?
to count to like
Yeah, to count to 1 billion would take
if
you
you just
34
go
straight years.
1, 2, 3. It would take
34 straight years.
34 straight years. No sleep, no rest breaks.
Yeah,
No, that's crazy to me.
yeah. So 1 billion laughs. Jeff's like, man, we did the math. Like, that's more like 800,000 laughs.
I was actually the reason I did call it out. I go, I don't think that's possible.
Yeah.
And then you would confirm.
I did the math.
You were like, yeah, there's definitely
There's no way.
And then the manager Rita of the Improv was like, come on. Like she was like mad about it.
I disproved it. We disproved it.
Right quick.
Yeah, I was like, all right,
Change it to a
never
million.
mind.
Change it to a million.
I want to play here, and I'm going to drop that.
change it to a million. Just change the sign. Say 1 million laughs. That's a lot of laughs.
Oh man, always fun, brother.
Yeah, man,
Love
you're the
having
best.
you. Yeah, dude.
Love you, dude.
You can tell the people where you are next, but they should already know because I end every podcast with, if you guys want to see my road dates, go to Jeff.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, come to jeffdow.com. All the dates are on there. Taking a couple weeks off, but then we'll be back at it.
That's right. We got Grand Rapids next, then Fallbrook, Split Rock Farm, and then December's loaded up. We got a
It's gonna be
bunch.
awesome. Yeah, and then starting January, big tour.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. It'll be great. Mikey, we love you. Thanks for being the man you are. Second Floor Studios. We love you guys. That's it for this one.